everybody. Welcome to I'd Back That Kickstarters with Gloryhoundd
DrGloryHogg
and
Greg C. Dickson. It says it
that's
right.
That's right
There.
there, right there.
People always look so weird when they do that in their videos.
Well,
They're
awkward.
like, subscribe to the link over.
You
well,
never
it's
know
on
where
one
the
of
link's
sides.
always in a different spot, so you're like, subscribe to the link
Press
somewhere.
the button somewhere.
You can
People know how to
subscribe to
press
the gun
buttons.
show.
Uh,
I need sunglasses.
I know, it's bright.
People know.
It's because
So
of the lighting.
Yes.
we've been doing like
your
a
pale
pre-show
skin.
show too, like on Instagram, so you can kind of see some of the shenanigans going on behind the scenes before you guys check us out.
We were doing antlers.
Spoilers, God! Now they don't even need to go to Instagram, guys. Thanks.
Bunny
thanks.
ears is so last year. Now we're doing antlers.
That's not true. Eric Lang always does bunny
That's
ears,
true.
so bunny ears are always in.
Have you
They're
been
always
bunny
in.
eared by Eric Lang?
Yes.
Have you been bunny eared by
Yes.
Eric Lang?
I'm just going to say that if you go to @GloryHogg, that doesn't exist. You got to go to @DrGloryHogg.
Oh my God!
Just saying.
She got mine right. Just saying.
You know what?
Just saying.
We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that
You have
later.
to earn the doctor on there.
Oh, I earned it. Trust
Professional grade. I'll fix that later. All right.
Fix
So
it in post.
today we're going to talk about 4 different games that are on Kickstarter,
Too
starting
much
off
good
with
stuff.
Valor and Villainy, Minions of Mordak. This is for 12 plus for 2 to 6 players. It's about 25 minutes per a player. So what were your guys' first impressions
me. Wait, are
of
we
this
live
game?
right now?
We are live right now. Like this is the live show.
Good thing you weren't picking your
Welcome
nose.
everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, all right then. I thought this was still pre-show.
No,
No,
we're past
this
the
is
pre-show.
the show.
This is the show.
That's
you
what
really-
happens when you put too much live and you put live in front
I
of the
told you
live
we
in
were
front of the
live
live.
before
Were
I-
you really confused?
I don't. I'm confused by a lot.
Poor guy.
So what were you guys' first impressions?
I love the video.
The video?
The video's great because it gives you some mechanics, but also kind of gives you the story. It shows you
So
what the
flashy
components
and
look like, and it does
colorful.
it all really fast. It's like a great overview of the game.
My first impression is that Scrut is overpowered, but like in a good way.
Who's overpowered?
Scrut, the
Scrut
barbarian.
the
Okay, so
barbarian.
we played
or
it,
You
like,
guys have played a bunch
yeah.
of these this week, so
Yeah,
I came here
yeah.
not to give commentary, but just to ask you guys
questions
questions.
So
about
Scrut-
what
Because I know you
us
played
playing
all of
them.
these.
You can, when you like overroll something, you can kind of bank that for like a +1 later that you can add to a later roll. So if you end up having to fight something that's like at 13 power, you can use some of those dice roll that banked power to go ahead and attack
That's
that
cool.
thing, right?
That's cool.
Well, when we were
Yeah.
playing with Scrut, it was we were playing with some people from Man vs. Meeple, and Kira just kept on like just banking it and banking it. And she had like so
like
much
a
like
stack.
she was just
just
like rolling all 2s, and then she had like a stack like that, just bloop, like a stack of like
and then
8.
she was gonna smash something
Yeah.
real hard.
Well, we
like-
decided that Scrut was an investor, and that he was diversifying his portfolio.
Okay.
And he like
I
invested
didn't realize this was a stock game.
he invested in see look Scrut
secretly a
see
stock
Scrut
game.
like invested in his magic, you know,
like
and
it, I like it.
diversified a little bit into range. So Scrut, you know, he's got his own thing going on.
This is Wolf of Wall Street, the game,
And
right?
the whole time she's talking like she's like Scrut likes to diversify. Scrut likes yeah, it's very good.
Scrut speaks in third person.
Well, here's what I really,
Scrut doesn't know
really
what that
enjoy
means.
about this game is it has this like RPG overview theme of it where if you love RPGs or you love dungeon crawls, like you're going to love this game, but you're not invested in weeks and months worth of campaigns and trying to figure out who's going to be playing what the entire time. This is going to be
It's true.
an hour to a couple hours worth of a game. You're going to clean it up, and then you can play again next week, next month, whenever you like.
With
like,
still having the parts that people like, which is the investigating stuff, upgrading your character.
right.
That's always big for me because a lot of times these other games that are like D&D light, you tend up like you're like, okay, I went through the thing and I won, yay, but you don't really get to upgrade or do anything cool.
They streamlined this game so well in the fact that you know you have your player board set up here, which is at random tiles here, and they get stronger as they go out progressively. And when you go on those tiles, you reveal them. There may or may not be treasures or bad guys on them. You know, each person at the table takes an action. Mordak takes an action, which is this is a 1 versus a many game.
Mhm.
And then after that, like people level up, so you're leveling up each turn. So
Yeah, you can buy
you're
more
not
like,
waiting
action
until the
points and
end of a campaign to make changes happen. No, you're
Yeah, every
getting
turn.
gear right away. You're getting
Right.
XP
So
right
you
away.
get to the point
You're
where like
upgrading.
I
your
You're
remember
building
character.
an engine, it sounds
we were
like.
rushing to like kill more minions because that gives you like more XP, and I was like, if we kill another minion before we end our turn, then it's like because we all share that XP. I'm like, then I can get another movement point and I can move more, and I was playing one of the warrior class.
Now it says you just scrolled past that it's 25 minutes per player.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you feel like it's going to be too long with 6? I mean, I know it's like that could be like.
I think it all depends on. I think more often than not, it really is on the Mordak player.
Okay.
Is what determines the speed
So
of
as
the
long
game.
as maybe make Mordak the most experienced player.
Exactly. If
And
you,
then that'll keep the pace
Mordak
moving.
is
Right,
essentially like your
right.
dungeon master. Like
Yeah.
as long as Mordak understands the rules and knows like what they can interrupt, what they can't, and interacts with the other players, it'll go really fast. You won't
Okay.
even notice it.
Cool.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. And if you want to start out with a smaller group to kind of try it as you're learning and stuff, that's great.
Too
but
bad you can't.
the fact that it can fit all those players
Well, it
is
says
amazing.
2 to 6, so
That's
that's kind of
Look at
cool.
this. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that rogue.
Ooh,
And
that
it balanced-
rogue.
Yeah, that is rad with the
And,
And,
each character has like a little backstory and stuff.
Yeah,
and
that
you can
rogue
get,
is a straight up a ghost.
you can get as invested into this as you want. So you can play this completely RPG style, where I came into this and I really wanted to play like the evil guy Mordak, and I was like, somebody else took that character. Okay.
Ryan Schloon.
I'm like, I will play the other mage, and I will be seeking to overthrow you. And the whole time, I'm just like, is that all you can do,
It's like
mage?
a professional
And
jealousy.
nobody else knew.
Right.
Nobody else knew she was doing this. It was just really weird. Her talking to herself in like some hotel late at night, and she's
Or-
like, "I'll kill them all." We're like, "What are you doing? You're a good guy." She's like, "Yes, so good."
If you're not super into
Chaotic
RPGs, yeah, exactly. If
I
you're
don't think
not
that's how that works.
super into RPGs, you don't have to do that. You can just play this as a straight up
Just very
dungeon crawl.
mechanically,
Exactly. You
yeah.
go through and you're fighting monsters
It's
and
okay
stuff.
to be wrong sometimes.
And if it's a 2-player game, then is this 1v1?
Yep, 1v1.
And how do they scale that? Or
The
is there any?
scaling is so cool.
Okay.
So the scaling with it and stuff is like you're going on the board and you're getting specific monsters, and you can only level up as fast as the other players really let you. So like
Mhm.
as Mordak is populating the board with minions for you to fight, the player who's on the board fights those minions and levels up from them. So like if they can't get a whole bunch of minions to fight, or they can't kill a whole bunch of minions, like they can only level up so fast, right?
Oh, okay.
And like vice versa on that. Like the scaling was really nice. I really liked it. I thought
Awesome.
they did a really good job
And
with
it also has like on the
And the
actual cards
tiles,
themselves when you
too.
flip them, if it's a group of X below or
It'll
X
Yeah.
above.
How many?
Yeah, how
you,
many,
Instead
yeah.
of putting out a level 1 minion, you put out like a level 2 minion, that type of thing.
Right.
But it's really a race because you're racing as fast as you can to get Mordak on the board so you can just kill him,
Mhm.
just wizard death him. But if you take too long, like getting yourself upgraded, then you're just letting him also upgrade too.
Right.
So it's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like that. When is the right time? Now is the right time. You don't want
Pivot from like upgrading
Yeah.
and
into like into the fight, the final
to
fight.
like taking them
And
out.
having the dice system on this is just, it's so simple, like you're upgrading the number of dice you have, and then like going from a white dice who has a low probability of hitting to a yellow, which is a mid-range, and then to a red, which has
Yeah.
at least a hit on
And I
every
like
single
that
Which
you
you can
can
see.
wound or kill
Well,
too.
and then
Yes,
so
yeah.
that's someone was just getting that +1 power there, bank into the side there. That's what that's showing.
Yeah.
But with the dice, like what I did with mine is I was able to spend my experience points to go from, instead of just having like 3 dice, I had a 4th dice, and that one I just went straight to red, and then next one I did like another one to yellow, and you just get better and better chances the higher the dice color is, and the little pieces you get, your experience tokens, if you flip them over, they have a white dice on the back
Yeah,
side,
they
so you
really
can just,
made that so
so
cool.
you can, that's how you swap. And then if you get one of the yellow dice tokens on the other side of it's the red side, so like just less tokens in
Yeah,
than
so you're
other
not like
games.
passing out experience, then you're like, okay, now I'm going to collect
Right,
these
right.
experience. It's just
Yeah.
like, no, just flip those experience over and take your dice. Like,
And isn't it like
they
the
made it really streamlined.
the first how did we do it? Like the first person you got to go was based off an evil laugh or something.
No, that was in a different game.
I don't know.
think.
Maybe we were
Yeah.
just evil laughing
We'll cut
for no
this
reason.
part out. in post.
Maybe we were just evil laughing for no reason. And then
And
it's $40.
The price. The price.
Yeah.
This is
what?
Greg value.
Right? $40?
Yeah.
Like,
Even you can't complain
Even
about all
cheap
this
stuff, Greg. No,
with
it
dice
feels
for
like
$40.
the production's like top notch. The art, the minis, the dice look nice.
And I'm gonna try to convince James to make a crossover with Tidal Blades, and so they'll actually play together.
Oh, that's cool. That's the expansion.
I shouldn't have said that out loud. Now I'm gonna actually message him. He's
And-
blocked me.
I
This is the only
also-
way you can reach him.
Yeah.
just through this. I also like the fact that although this is a 1 versus many game, Mordak stays completely invested in the game because a lot of his corruption spells are based off of what the other players are doing.
Yeah, like he can curse
So-
you and make you roll all white dice.
Yeah, so like as the other players are like, well, I'm going to do this, and Mordak can go, wait a
Yeah,
second.
take those 6 reds and
Yeah,
make them
now
6
we're
whites.
going to do this and like
Nice.
You just
interfere with your
reduce
plans as
their
you go
damage or their abilities like a
so
lot.
you have the team, the group of players working together going, okay, we're going to go over here and we're going to fight this and we're going to go and do this. And then, you know what, you do that. And then Mordak is paying attention because,
Right.
no, I'm going to like foil all these plans.
So
that
he's
are
never
being
just sitting
carried
there
out.
watching his clock because
Right.
he's listening and paying
Yeah,
attention
if he's not
and
paying
planning
attention,
accordingly.
He's
Right.
missing out on his
So there's
turn.
no, it's not there's no AP for him. He's able to sit and be involved even when it's not his turn. It sounds like.
No, I
Absolutely.
mean, most of this should really. He needs to be paying attention. Honestly,
If he's not, then he's not going to win the
Then he's
game.
gonna
That's
lose,
for
yeah.
sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And the other really cute thing about this game is the fact that all of their monsters and items and everything are going to have a like funny sort of tip on the theme, you know? So
Yeah.
like
Right.
tipping their hat to like different RPGs and different items in the RPG community and stuff, which is really awesome as well. Like I was really excited about that. I'm so excited
There's the
about this
deluxe
one.
Did you
edition.
see the letter that it comes with too? I have Aries from
Oh, I
Skybound
saw
Game.
the clip.
Yeah, doing it
Yeah.
on. I have it on
Yeah.
Instagram and stuff too. But you can hear him like reading it off, and I just started recording him because they were like, "Hey, read it," and he started reading
Yeah.
it. It's hilarious. He's
Look
like,
at the
"Keep
insert.
everything nice and
Ooh, that
groovy."
insert, guys.
Everything nice and
Woo.
groovy.
And he's like, "I know Mordak seems like he wants me dead." He's like, "But that's just his way. Let him have his evil cackles." And it's really like a good theme behind it all.
Yeah.
And I happen to know that if you guys like really, really, really push this, there's some other cool stuff that can get unlocked that I
That's
really
very
want you guys to
true.
unlock.
That's right. So
So
we
please,
need
please
you guys
back
to
it
unlock
with
some
us.
Wait, is
stuff.
there
yeah.
stuff you guys know about that hasn't been revealed yet?
There's an additional thing I know about this game that is
Oh.
already like slated potentially.
But you
And
all need
I
to back
really
this.
want it. Like I really
So
want
you're just
that
gonna
thing.
talk this game up as much
They
as
did-
you can.
They
There's
did a
just
really
there's
good
like
job.
one thing
'Cause
that I
you
really
want extra stuff.
There's
Hey!
one thing I really want, and I don't think it's hit that Kickstarter limit yet. So you guys just do it.
Also, somebody left this really lovely review right
outta here.
I'm just saying no.
Oh my
We
goodness.
should have called you Glory the Hound.
All right, guys. So, Greg, what do you think of this? Would you back this?
This sounds
game?
awesome. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, like the price
The
coupled
price, the
with
production,
the production
minis,
value.
the art.
mhm.
What you're actually getting out of it, yeah.
And I
think-
like that it's not full co-op. I'm not a big co-op person. I like that it's one versus many. That's a plus for me.
Right, like how many of those? I don't have a bunch of those types of games. I only have like maybe like one or two I can think of,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, because wouldn't Fury of Dracula be like a one
Yeah,
versus
there's like
many in a
Spectre
way?
Ops and stuff, but those are different kind. Those are hidden movement and
Yeah,
stuff. This
really
is more
more than-
straight in your face, combat.
Yeah. All right, and I'm gonna say I'd back that because this game is amazing. I was super, super excited.
Ben from
to
Skybound wants to know what I know. I'm not gonna say what I know, Ben.
We were told we're not allowed to say what we know. So
Right off
like,
screen,
yeah.
But I don't listen. So
Right off screen, there's a rep from Skybound threatening, like, no, you
Well,
All of a
literally
sudden,
on
James
screen, too.
Hudson.
well, on screen as well, yes.
So we would say something, and then James Hudson would suddenly show up and be like,
Why'd you guys should have just made something up.
Well, what he does is he just pops up. He's like, "Roll Tide!" And he starts just punching people.
You guys should have just made something up.
"All right, so we're gonna officially back this
Yeah, I
one."
think we're all in on this
I
one,
think
right?
we're all in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
this is
excited
a
about
good
the train
lineup.
expansion.
So, guys,
oh, wait, what?
Remember when I told you guys
Western
last
Legends?
week that I was holding off for this week? These are the reasons why. Okay, so
yeah,
the games
this,
this
tough.
week are
This is
solid.
tough.
Okay, next
They're all
up.
good price too, because
Ugh.
usually like the stuff that we really like, we're like, "Cool, that's $100," or "Cool, that's
Yeah.
89
Once
bucks."
I see it's 100, I'm like, I'm out.
But these are all like good
Yeah,
prices.
speaking of good prices, good segue.
So
You're
next
welcome.
up we have Tangled Timelines.
They're
This is
practically
by
paying you for this one.
Zayas Games. This is for 13 plus 1 to 4 players and 15 to 30 minutes.
That seems accurate.
Yeah,
You got it
so
done in 30 minutes, easy.
this is a really interesting game. So first off, a lot of times card games are so simplistic that I'm like, okay.
Or they're
like,
super luck based.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They just fall short. You get into something like Exploding Kittens or, I mean, where they're just like, or what was it? The
Side
stem.
effects that
Yeah,
we were
side
kinda
effects. And you're like,
underwhelmed
oh, this game looks really
No,
awesome.
this one leans
but
more towards like Arboretum, where you're like really
yeah,
what you're trying
right?
to
Pack a
do
lot
and
of
get into
depth
your
and
hand.
simple mechanics.
A lot of depth and simple mechanics.
That's
Yeah, because
so
you're using your card to either draft either like that same type, so like all the assassins, or you're trying to use it to draft like all the masters or all the legendaries that are out in front of you. And
right.
you're trying to build different sets, like either having the most of one type or having like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and having like that longest line there. And each character has its own abilities on it that can change
Right.
stuff, like get rid of people out of the middle row, bring people back from the Tangled Timeline,
Well,
like all kinds of different
And
things.
that's the really
void.
interesting thing with the abilities on this is the fact that, so when you place your card out, the letter that is the first in the alphabet to the last
Triggers
resolves
first.
first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And only the person who is the highest card resolves their abilities. So therefore, the abilities have been made in a way that if you
Balanced.
play the A card, the ability is not that great,
Right.
and sometimes
it's
will
not always the
mess
best.
you up as
Like
you're
some of
going
them might
along.
make you swap or
Yeah.
like change the order of who goes, and that can dramatically affect if you get like any cards at all. You can just get nothing.
So you're caught with the thing of, okay, I need to try to collect my sets. I also need to win hands while also trying to balance the fact that some of these abilities I'm going to play are negative. Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
have to do different things to try to maneuver myself and position myself
So that
better to
that
get better
negative
cards.
doesn't hurt you as much as it
Exactly.
hurts everybody else.
Exactly. So, and when you're placing down a card, you're going to be taking cards from the middle that match the letter on the card as well as their skill. So, legendary, novice. What is the other ones? I'm not sure. I can't remember what all of them
Apprentice.
are. Apprentice is one of them.
I think there's
And
4 at
Yeah,
least.
there's 4 of them. And so then you can take those cards from the middle. So if you place down a card, like this one here says, give a hero from your hand to the lowest initiative player. So if you play the assassin, you're probably going to win that hand, okay? But then you also have to give up
Yeah.
one of your cards that you're
Right.
collecting for your set. And you're like, well, that sucks. Hopefully I'll grab more than one card out of the
Hopefully you didn't-
timeline.
right, and hopefully you didn't help them out.
Yeah, hopefully you didn't help them out with that too. Yeah.
Plus, as in, I don't know if anyone's mentioned this, but $13.
13
Yeah,
bucks,
right off
That's
the
that's
bat.
less than 2 Chipotle burritos. Like it's just, it is. It's less with tax. $13 is just like, this is something that you'll throw. Like I could see putting in my work backpack or when I go to a
Yeah,
convention,
It's a little filler.
your back
It's
pocket.
An
Yeah.
amazing filler
Where
game.
you're like,
yeah.
oh, we're waiting for whoever. Like, why don't we play this game? It takes like 15 to 30 minutes. Or, oh, he's been in the bathroom a while. We can probably knock out the Tangled Timelines before he's done. Con
Plus,
food.
I really enjoyed the art in this game. The art looks really cute.
What is
I
it
love
about
the
art
colorfulness.
that you like so much?
Well, I love. We'll get to that in a minute. Well, I love the colorfulness here.
Yeah.
I love the art and how when you're a novice and then you're a master and then you go
changes,
up to
yeah.
legendary, the art's going to change. So every single card on it is going to, the guy's going to look more and more awesome as you get up to the legendary status, which I thought was a really cool, like, minor thing. You know, they could have just made all the art on
Yeah.
those particular cards the same, but they didn't. They made each one a little upgrade of the next one, which
I'm
I
sure
thought
their
was
artists
really
love
cool.
that. They're like, oh, God.
Well, that's
Great
so
design
much
choice.
fun. You see them like
Jerks.
leveling
It would
up
have been
as you go
$12, but they
along,
had to
right?
pay a little
Yeah,
extra
it
for
probably
that
would
art.
only been
Right.
$12.50 tops.
Now
Hey,
it's that
Vincent.
unreachable 13.
Hey, Vincent, how are you doing? I know we haven't seen Vincent around in a while.
Welcome
Thank you
back,
for thank you
Vincent.
for joining us today.
Yeah,
so
he said YouTube's being weird, which I believe.
oh yeah,
It was
well
being weird earlier, but we were playing this on Tabletop Simulator, which is pretty cool that you can just like
Yes,
play it
yeah.
just easily. And if you know Daniel Zayas on Facebook, he is like constantly asking people to play.
Mhm.
So you
Oh.
can probably hit him up and he'll play.
And he just went ahead and added this add-on here where you can get like little card sleeves, which are pretty cute too.
Yeah.
Like I just like the general art style of this. It's really nice. So with Tangled Timelines, they also did some promotional cards, which you're going to have that feature different people in the community, which is like a really cool
Right,
little
other
feature.
board
It's
game
very cute.
content creators and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Let's just get down to the really important one.
Well,
guys.
I
She's
like
going
how you're
to
scrolling
Hold on,
right
hold on.
past.
Nope, nope. Real. Oh, wow! Look at this one, the
No,
Valkyrie.
it has
oh,
like, it's like red in her hair. Did you
you know
notice that?
what?
It's
I
kinda-
mean,
I didn't notice
it's
it.
kind of like,
This
wait
one-
a second.
slightly resembles somebody I know, and I heard they're a pretty awesome.
definitely needed the
person,
ego
so,
boost.
Yeah,
I
she sure
mean-
did.
Right?
She's gonna, she's gonna
already
sit on
named
this
it-
part of the
She
screen
already
for a while.
she already named the show after herself. She definitely needed the ego boost.
No, I'm really excited about this game, and for $13, I was like, I'd back that.
What's the worst
Done.
case scenario? I
Done.
mean, for $13, you can
Yeah,
use
it's
it.
We
so
spent
cheap.
more
You
can
on
use it as
some other
bookmarks.
ones, right? There you go, really fancy
Emergency toilet
bookmarks.
paper. I mean,
Well,
$13.
Well,
I hope Daniel's not watching this.
poor Daniel, right?
I'm saying worst case.
Emergency toilet paper.
Worst case scenario.
All
Kindling,
right. Yeah,
you need it?
Vincent backed it too. So, Greg, what do you think? Would you back
Yeah,
that?
this is great. It seems like a no-brainer.
$13
You got cool art, good price. Sounds
Yeah.
like this mechanically, sound.
Right,
Right.
this is one that you just kind of like casually back and you don't even really remember it as far as
And then
like
it just shows up.
And
Because
then
at
you're like,
$13
oh yeah,
New
this is an
filler.
awesome game.
right because of the $13, right? It's the ones that you drop like $100+ on that you're like, when's that coming?
Yeah.
I feel super invested in this game. I just dropped $200 on. Cool mini or not?
I missed a mortgage payment for this game. It better show up.
So next
You can live
step,
in that box.
we have Gardens of Babylon, and this is by Cackleberry Games. Sorry, Cackleberry Games.
Cackleberry.
Cackleberry. I always want to call them Cackleberry Games. I'm like, I
Cackleberry.
knew I was going to say it wrong. And this is for 10 plus,
Nobody
1 to
noticed.
4
We're good.
players, and it lasts about 60 minutes. What were your guys' first impressions of this game?
It reminded me of Cubert.
Cubert.
You know what? I thought of that too whenever
It's
I
the
first
first
saw
thing
it.
that came to
I
mind.
was like, oh, this is like
They should have themed it
a
Cubert.
little garden. Well, I'm sure they probably can't do that.
No, but that would have been awesome if they could get that IP.
I really liked the mechanics of this game
She doesn't wanna
because.
know my first impression.
She skipped right over you.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
What's your first impression?
What was your first impression,
I
Dr.
literally,
DrGloryHogg?
I literally said to her, I'm like, hey, I've been there before, because I've been by the Hanging Gardens of
Oh,
Babylon.
that's
it.
cool.
Yeah. Well, we drove by. It was in Iraq.
Did
Yeah.
you plant seeds?
No.
I
It was on fire when we drove by, so I'm sure that's
Oh.
fine.
Oh, well, that's
Ancient wonder of the
probably not
world.
good.
There's a whole war
That's
thing
probably
going on.
not
You
good.
remember
It
2003?
was in the news, I think.
I think
Yeah.
it was
I
on.
think it was,
Was it on BuzzFeed or
I think
something? You could
CNN
see
or
it?
something brought it up
Something.
once or
Well,
twice.
I like the fact in this particular game that whenever you plant a seed in this, they all flow down and you can knock players out. I feel like this is like the most like cutthroat.
I was gonna say cutthroat
game?
gardening.
Yeah, cutthroat gardening game you could ever have. You're like,
Let's
yeah,
be
you
real.
like your seeds there?
Murder
Not
gardening.
anymore.
You know you'd be fighting for those top spots, and then if somebody came up there that was being a jerk, you just give them a little push.
Just a little
Oh,
pushover.
no, we lost another one to the
Peace.
Hanging
We're gonna
Gardens.
see you. Plus, all of these games that we're featuring today, all 4 of them are on Tabletop Simulator. So if you want to try before you buy, it's an excellent place to
Yeah,
go.
because you've played all of these, haven't
Yeah,
you?
you can
Did
go
you guys
on
play
there.
this one?
I didn't get to play this one. She was playing.
I was
with,
able to play all the games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, that's cool.
Yeah.
She's been playing like some. She's got like a side hustle. She's got
Side
going on
hustle.
where she's like
My
side playing
hustle.
when I'm.
She's all side hustles, man.
While I'm like doing my schoolwork, she's like playing games.
Yeah. Poor Cackleberry games. I said it right, right? Cackleberry.
Cackleberry.
Cackleberry games.
I believe that is correct.
Okay, so the other thing about this game is that I feel like it's really reasonably priced. What was the
Yeah.
price on this one? It was $35.
Yeah.
Very nice. Oh, look, my cat got on the board and like messed up all my notes.
Of
Okay.
course.
Yeah, so another
Blame it on the cat. We don't even have a cat,
insanely
guys.
reasonably priced game for
Yeah.
$35. I was like, dude, like, is $35 the marker for this week? I mean,
It's good because I feel like we can back all of them for the price.
I
that
was
we
gonna
would normally
say,
back one thing at.
we backed
Seriously.
more games this week because of the pricing with the
Because there's some good inherent-
amazing value.
I was
of
gonna say
the
there's
game,
some
you
inherent
know?
value in some of these. Where like a lot of these bigger games are great and they have a lot of stuff like minis or this or that. But as far as games you're gonna get out and play, if it's like an hour and a half or less, you're gonna play
Right.
it more. And then if you can get
Right.
it for like under $50,
You're gonna
seems
play
like a
it.
really
You're gonna
good-
play it in that half an hour to an hour of it, and
yeah, it just
you're
seems
gonna
like good value.
get a really good value out of it. This one has extremely unique mechanics. I mean, well, actually, all 3 of them had really great mechanics in them. Where I was like, all right, well, I haven't seen this sort of stuff necessarily before, like done this way. You know
I
what
just
I'm
want a
saying?
Leonidas figurine that I can put up top and start kicking people off and being like, "This is Babylon," and just start.
There was some other really
booting 'em.
cool portions of this
I'm gonna
campaign
add that in.
where they had, like, what was it? The little black mini here. What was it? I'm
That
gonna
was-
scroll down to
That
it.
was like an expansion thing.
Yeah, a
right?
little mini expansion that comes with it, which I'm super excited
Even like the deluxe edition's
about.
like $10 more.
I
50
know,
bucks,
right? And you
yeah.
get like all the little different types of meeples there, which I'm like a super ham for those. Like,
She really is. I don't
oh
know
my
why.
Goodness.
It's like she uses them for other stuff,
Oh
but she's
my
all about like
goodness. Dude,
what unique
I
shaped
can get
meeples.
unique like flower meeples or dinosaur meeples or
It's the
meeples
adorable factor, man.
that look like little poops or something. Like, I'm gonna get those. Like, that's what I'm gonna
Someone
do.
needs to just come out of the Kickstarter that's just all the meeples.
Just different
just gonna
meeple
buy-
shapes.
I'm just gonna
Handful
buy
of
her a
meeples.
jigsaw,
Okay.
like a jigsaw. She can cut her own meeples out.
I wanted to talk about this expansion here. So I'm digging this because the poison tokens, where you can like start poisoning stuff in people's gardens,
Seems like, it makes it even more
I'm
aggressive.
100% down for that.
Is it like adding
I'm
the
100%
corruption?
down for aggressive gardening, guys. You know that happens in real life. You know.
Yeah,
So
you-
Someone's
somebody's
gonna end up with a hoe in their neck.
You know what they always say? A hoe in the hand is worth 2 in the
what?
basket. I
What?
don't-
What
What is
does
that?
that
Is that not
even
how that goes?
mean?
That's what they
No.
always have said.
You just plant
No.
little
It's the beginning of
belladonna.
time.
you
A
know,
little
you go.
belladonna in your
Yeah.
garden. That's what you're doing. Yeah.
That's fine.
No, this was really great, and I mean, I just had nothing bad to say
Well,
about
find
these
something.
games.
I don't like
What
their
about
use
you,
of
man?
lions.
Are you as excited about this as she is?
Not as excited as her, but like I'm not opposed to it. Like it's still definitely one. Like I haven't gotten to play it. And I think that's kind of the big
Sure.
thing.
That's holding you back from it is not
Yeah,
having the
because
had
it is
played
more.
this.
It looks more Euro-y style than I
It
particularly
seems
usually
very
like.
puzzly.
It is. It's very puzzly.
Almost
it's
like
it's
a
little
Suro-y-
Euro-y and
I mean,
stuff.
more
yeah.
involved than that, but where you're trying to like make your paths line up right
Right.
and work. And so it's very spatial, very puzzly. If that's your kind of
ahead.
thing, this seems like a good version of it.
That's usually my exit out, right?
You're
like
not. That's not quite your.
No, I don't mean. I like actual real jigsaw puzzles, but as far as like games that are super puzzly, for the most part, I just like a good theme. Like I want to feel like I'm doing something awesome. Because it's like my free time, right? So like I want to be like flying a ship or stabbing somebody with a trident. I want to be doing something cool.
If this had
not
more
extreme
ship flying
gardening.
in it.
Yeah, I mean that's not a knock on the game itself. Like I said, it's like Council of 4. When I first looked at it, I was like, but I enjoyed it and we played it and I want to buy it and everything. But it takes me like someone introducing me into a Euro because I don't just naturally gravitate towards Euros.
It feels like though when you've been able to set up your hexes in such a way that you can have that cool combo of all of the stuff flowing down and knocking everyone out of the way, that feels like it's going to be very satisfying.
And just laminate the pieces and pour actual water.
The bottom portion of this.
That's how you end the game. Whoever wins the game gets to pour water and just wash all the pieces away like you're garbage.
It's a legacy game. You play it once.
You're garbage. For $39, why not?
The bottom portion of this is interesting because you're right, Greg, where you like start kind of separated and stuff like that, and then as you climb up, it gets more and more cutthroat, and you're like changing more and more things. Yeah, you're changing more and more things as you're going down that flow of the river and stuff. And the tiles you pick are really important whenever you're putting them down and stuff. Like, it was all win for me. Whenever I saw this originally, I was like,
yeah, I like the idea of extreme. It's just gardening is the part that's throwing me off, I think. But out of a lot of them we've seen lately, I do think this is probably a more interesting theme than some.
If they had called it Ho Combat, would you be in?
Probably.
That's how you get the Ameritrashers in.
I would think that it was a completely different game.
Then you see its actual gardening tools. You're like, oh, man.
Oh. All right.
Those are just weird shovels. That's
not
what I wanted.
I wanted a high heel in someone's neck.
Greg, would you back that?
I want to try this one, but I'm interested. I'm on the brink with this one. But
you're on the brink. Okay.
Yeah, I think I want this.
You think you want this?
But I'd like to try it, just see if it's as satisfying as it looks like it could be.
You want to know what I think about it?
Yes.
I think it doesn't matter because I already saw she backed it while I was watching James, I was watching James Hudson's stuff that he was backing, and I saw Gloryhoundd and X amount of friends also back this, and I was like, son of a. So I was finding out new things. She's already done it. So
all right, done and done.
Was that the worst whenever you noticed on somebody else's stream?
Yeah.
Like me backing something and you're like, huh.
Yeah.
Well.
I'm like, okay, well that solves that mystery.
All right, I guess I'm gonna play this, and I hope I like it.
That's hilarious.
Did you go deluxe? Can I ask?
I did go deluxe.
Woo!
I did go deluxe because I need all the pieces.
Whose money is she making?
I need all the
she's
pieces.
just woo!
Listen,
Side
all the
hustles,
rest
man.
of the
Side
games were
hustles.
super cheap this
That's
week.
right.
So
it's like the buy two get one free thing. She's like, well, it's a deal. I only wanted one, but now I've got 3, and it only cost me $80 more.
I've got a lifetime supply of mustard, but it was a deal.
I saved a lot of my money from last week for this
That's
week.
right.
I told all of you.
$800 on Costco membership so that we can save $5 on our pretzels.
Save your money for this week and then make a decision, okay?
Oh, man, you guys need to do an economics class.
Next up, we have Or the Mining Game. This is by QSF Games. Quick, simple, fun.
Or is the best.
This is for 12 plus, 2 to 5 players, and it lasts about 60 to 90 minutes. This is a heavy Euro-themed game about mining. First impressions.
I love these meeples. Look how rad they are.
The meeples are cute.
It looks like a work. Okay, so it's quick, simple, fun.
Yes.
So it's an established company, and it's a worker placement game. So you can trust this is going to be probably
good, simple, fun.
Solid worker placement.
That would have been
going to be good, simple, fun.
Good, simple, fun.
Quick, simple, fun.
Quick, simple, fun. That would have been. Yeah. I think that's when you should have inserted that.
So
you don't tell me.
We'll rewind it.
So
this would be. You can just bank that this game will be.
I feel like you can just count on this being quick, simple, and fun.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
We got there, guys. You get $5 every time you say their name.
Quick, simple, fun.
The deluxe because she's worth it. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So with this one here,
Maybe
I thought
we don't have food, but it's cool.
It's fine.
Are you losing weight? Oh yeah, I went deluxe on all my games, and so now we only got ramen.
I'm learning how to garden from Gardens of Babylon. It's okay.
She's gonna create her own little
all
garden.
Right?
Yeah, you don't need to go to the
We've
grocery store.
got a crazy garden outside, and but none of it's edible.
No. So with
everything's edible if you try hard enough.
Touche. You know what? I tip
Kids
my
don't
hat to
eat
you.
things randomly. Kids don't eat things
don't
randomly.
That's their whole life.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that's all kids live for.
Oh
is
my
to put
gosh,
random things in their mouth.
We're so derailed.
With this particular game.
Derailed, like what you'd use ore for on a train?
Wow.
No, too. I try to bring it back. I'm sorry, guys.
No.
You know, I'm not sorry. I am not sorry. Or.
Or
How was it?
You guys ready?
yeah, have you played this one?
It
I
seems
have.
I watched.
I really want to hear what you have to say actually, because
I
it looks solid. But
I'm glad you're super sold because I still want more theme in my worker placement that I enjoy. Where ore and trains are just not my thing.
I think that's the question: does it do something new for the genre, or is it just a solid worker placement game? I mean, and then
is it quick, simple, fun?
That's where I'm kind of on the line with this one. Like, I'd like to try it.
So, what I liked about this
We should
game
run tabletop
is
suddenly.
one, that you had a limited number of rounds on it. So you're not getting into a Euro game that's going to take you like such a long time to play.
does
I felt
finally
like
end.
it did go by pretty quickly
Okay.
as I was playing. I felt like everybody at the table was able to understand the board very, very quickly. Like, it was very easy to read and stuff like that and to do. I don't think that there's a bunch of like huge groundbreaking things, but it was still a very interesting and challenging game to play. Like, what you're doing is it's a worker placement game, so you're placing your workers out on the board to try to collect materials as well as do actions on the board. And that's kind of where the big part of this game is that you start with a certain amount of workers, and when your workers go into the mines, you can't recall them every time because they're collecting stuff.
They're busy working.
Right.
Okay.
So you can only recall other workers that are on the midsection of that board. Like, if you want to recall somebody from the mine, that's just going to cost you money, and that makes no sense because you have to fulfill contracts with the ore that you're mining from those mines.
Okay.
As you go down through the mines, you might need cages or drills and such to get to certain levels on there. And I thought that was also really interesting. And then once a mine is completely been run through, you get rid of that, your meeples finally come back, and then you put out another mine card. So you're trying to balance collecting resources from that mine, while also getting money from the contracts to expend those resources.
Question.
Which I thought was really interesting.
Can you use this game with Flick 'em Up, the cowboy game, dexterity game, so I can come rob this mine?
Yes. No.
Okay.
You can rob the mine all you want.
Woo! Then I'm in.
Well,
Oh,
and
Great Western, you take the train to get the ore, you steal the ore.
then you complete those
Train expansion.
contracts.
Put all the games together.
You complete those contracts, and you cannot build any buildings, which are going to give you victory points, and you get victory points from contracts and buildings, but you can't build any buildings unless you're completing contracts, which you can lose contracts if you can't fulfill them. If you can't give them the ore that they want,
I lost the contract
like,
once, but I found
boom.
it. It was on the countertop. I was like, oh my God, it's just got that back in there.
but you can
Contract.
essentially
I don't fully
lose
listen.
your victory points with that. So
Okay.
you can get halfway through one of these and be like, oh, great, now I can't fulfill this because XYZ happened, and
It
now those
sounds-
victory points and money, I just don't get it.
It sounds pretty involved. Like, it sounds like it's fairly thinking.
It honestly, so I was watching her play
It doesn't sound
I wasn't
quick
invited.
or
At work,
simple.
I
At
wasn't
work, hardly
invited,
working.
but I got to watch her play it, which was almost as much fun. And it
Sounds
seemed like
amazing.
that it actually, the gameplay makes up for the theme if you don't care about the theme. You know, it seems
Yeah.
like
Okay.
you could almost have like a different theme on it, and you just be like, oh, this is fine. Like, it seemed decent. It seemed like it'd be worth playing for sure.
It sounds a little involved for the moniker quick and simple.
Quick, simple,
Yeah,
fun.
Yeah,
I
like
would
it
say
sounds.
But it was so easy to pick up and learn.
I was gonna say,
Okay,
it didn't,
okay.
they didn't take a
Yeah,
long
it
time
was
explaining
super,
the game.
But it's
super
just
easy to
tricky
learn.
to time everything. It sounds
Exactly, and that's it. The timing based
Okay.
on all of it, you really have to be planning ahead. Okay, what ore am I getting in
It sounds
next
really cool.
round versus how many contracts here can
Get
I
'em.
take? You know.
like. Vince is like, get them under control.
It's not gonna happen.
Man, it's like wrangling cats sometimes, Vincent.
She's gonna
like,
bring a taser
seriously,
to the next week.
seriously, sometimes.
Are you paying attention right now?
So, I think this was an excellent game. This was excellent. It was surprising because immediately when I looked at like a mining game, I'm like,
All right, so
This
you
is gonna be
I've been
boring.
working
So
on
you-
the
and then I played it. I
railroad
was like, oh, okay, this
all
is
the
a really good game.
livelong
so you like
day.
all four of these.
I like all four of these.
All right, I'm gonna ask you a hard
Please,
question.
please buy
Okay.
one of them
Put
so
you
I
on
don't
the
have to get all
spot.
three
Okay.
or all four.
Your least favorite. If
My
you could only
least-
get 3.
Favorite. So,
Sorry.
I know we already backed 3 of
All
them.
of a sudden the feed goes blank.
I'm
She's like,
gonna-
don't ask me questions like that on the spot again. No, I'm just curious. Like, where
All of
if someone
these-
not everyone watching is gonna be able to buy all 4
Right.
of these.
Right. So like for
Right.
me, my top pick is the
'cause
Valor
this is a
Villainy.
$49 game. So, Gardens
Right.
of Babylon between this one, I think, because they're both like that Euro style game, you know?
Yeah.
And what was your pick?
my first would be Valor and Villainy, and then either one of these two would be ones I would drop off just
Yeah.
because I've got worker placements
And
that I
then
enjoy.
Tangled Timelines was just like an in the bag because it was like $13.
But I have a lot of worker placements that I enjoy. So like I don't feel like either one of these is like it's a must
this
have.
is a very crowded genre in my collection. You know what I mean? I have a lot of Euro worker placement kind of games. So
it is really crowded in your genre.
That's why that's why I wanted to know, you know, if it does something different, something new or whatever.
Okay, so this one here is the one that I did not back this week, which does not mean that I did not want to back it.
Is that because of the length of how long it is to play?
I did not back it because I live with DrGloryHogg. And I know that the chances of him playing this game with me is probably smaller because he is more of a Ameritrash gamer.
To be fair, when you're going to get out of worker placement or like, you know, asking for troubles or champions of Midgard, I'm probably going to go, no.
If this was a worker,
a little more thematic,
the
interesting sci-fi or
this is a game that I would play with any other person that loves Euro games, because if you are a Euro gamer,
I am a Viking, it's just heritage, it's not fantasy.
You're gonna love this game. DrGloryHogg is not a Euro gamer. He needs a theme behind it that he wants to Euro game with.
Right, you have to usually trick me into playing it. Like,
do.
I'm always willing to play it, but it usually takes me playing it before I get excited about it and go, oh, I want this.
Well, it's more of an uphill battle for you being excited about it if it's like dry or themeless.
Yeah, like I've got it, you know, it's just like I play every game that you bring over.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I go, oh, okay, it's actually more fun than I thought. But just looking at it, I'm not a person that will buy this off of the art. Like I'm the person that'll buy some like Tidal Blades because I'm like, oh, look at this. This looks cool.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, the theme definitely.
I like pretty things, guys. And then you find out they're fun later.
No.
That's a nice pet. That was a nice pet. That wasn't
creepy.
The theme on this here for him just did not apply, so that's the only reason why I didn't back this, though. This is a solid game.
One too.
It's a solid gameplay
for people who do like
absolutely. If you love Euros, this one's going to be a challenging one. That's going to give you a lot of really cool things to do in this game with balancing contracts and trying to build buildings and then also trying to mine.
Yeah, feel free to gift us a copy of this so she can prove me wrong. And then I'll recant my story.
Which was really interesting going back and forth with that. So, yeah, this one is just going to be harder. Like, if I'm on, you know, going to play this game and I'm like, hey, DrGloryHogg, do you want to come play this game with me? He's like, I'll pass this time.
Right.
I'll pass. And I'm like, oh, great. Thanks. Okay, well, I'll be soloing this game today.
Because I'm busy playing Wingspan.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Which I hate the theme of Wingspan. Hate it. I hate birds. Like in general, they're like my least favorite animal. So I just want Wingspan.
It's like the Wingspan
hold on,
name drop.
Hold on.
Okay.
So all I want
from
from Wingspan is I was looking at it and I was like, this would be so amazing if this was fantasy themed. So like you were getting dragons instead, like wyverns
Big
and
dragons,
griffins.
Dragons,
like griffins. And so think about like some of the stuff they'd have to have is your griffin would have to have like a knight. You know, like he'd have to eat. That's what he eats his nights and stuff like that. Would be so great. I would love that.
That's one of the resources you roll.
Yes.
It's like humans.
DrGloryHogg's whole thing is just going to be like, guys, I'm going to Ameritrash this game for you. Hold on. So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do.
No, I love the idea of that, though. Think about
he reskins all the dry
Euros. Let me tell you about your
that will
Think
sell
about all
it to
the different
Ameritrash.
cool dragons and like mythical creatures that you could have gotten instead of like a sparrow.
All right.
But it's educational.
I liked it.
But I wanted to be dragon educational.
Greg.
I bet you your kid would like it more if it had dragons in it.
Greg,
wouldn't hurt.
Would you back this game?
I think I'm going to pass on Or just because I have so many worker placements. But if I get a chance to play it sometime and it wows me, then I'm intrigued. I'm interested. And I trust the company. But I just have such a crowded field in my
shelf
collection.
already.
Yeah. I just
Listen, Ben. There's only so much love I have, all right?
And I can't do it all.
Right. We got reptiles, dogs. Cats are all right, you know. Just birds? Really? Why? What did they do?
But birds.
They just flit
were
around.
once dinosaurs, man.
I know.
And they got weak.
They are modern dinosaurs. They got weak.
Because you know what? I could never get a bucket full of roasted T-Rex,
but
a can of chicken.
You don't have a pet wolf. You've got a pet dog. It's okay sometimes when things get weak.
DrGloryHogg, would you back this game?
No, I'm really mad about this bird comment. I'm about
to
fisticuffs with Ben over here.
So, guys,
honestly, these are all good games. Like, I wouldn't discourage anyone from backing any of these. They all look
if
solid.
all four didn't happen in 1 week, it'd probably be
you just
more
can't
helpful.
back everything.
Because she could convince me if they wouldn't just all be in the same week. But I'm so hard on the first two. That
if all four were not in the same week, this would be like a top of another week. And that's kind of how Kickstarter works. Is like last week, I had already researched these games. I was like, God, like that does influence what I'm going to get. And so, like, if you're launching a Kickstarter, make sure that you don't launch the same time as somebody else
That's
that has
hard
the same sort of
that's hard
game.
You
to
can't-
do.
You know,
can't know.
like
Yeah.
if you see something come up, try to maybe delay your launch. Like
Right,
try to
right.
do something
That's
because
tough. But
when you
I
have
see what
so
you're
many
saying.
great things, if you can delay your launch, I would. You know, I mean,
I think the problem is that there's just too much good stuff, and I'm 100% okay with that.
yeah,
Like,
there is too
this
much
is a good
good
problem
stuff.
to
This
have.
is way different than like
Yeah.
15 years ago, where you really were like, do I get the collector's edition of Monopoly? Like,
That's true.
it's got nice pieces,
true.
and like that was your big hard choice, right?
Like Kickstarter in general has grown so much in the fact that you have smaller companies that are upping their game with stuff like this and making, I mean, because like, what is it? The Gardens of Babylon, that was a first time
Yeah,
creation and stuff
and
like
that game looks
you
good
know?
too.
Yeah, and then the Skybound games one, like that kind of started back from like Druid City and where they made like their
Grim
game that hit
Forest and
exactly Grim Forest
Yeah.
that hit and everything. So like you have people that are coming into the market, and if you're not making your game look fantastic, have fantastic gameplay, getting it up on tabletop sim, having a great intro, you're not going to be able to compete with these other games.
Yeah,
you
if
know?
you need me to come on there and like give you some,
Pointers,
Yeah.
Ameritrasher game. If
Yeah.
you need DrGloryHogg to
Yeah.
Ameritrasher
Yeah.
game.
I'll come with some stickers, some Lisa Frank stickers. But we need some unicorns on this
Boom.
via.
Boom. Unicorn
unicorns. You
game.
get a Pegasus.
Unicorn
Boom.
sell, guys. Unicorn sell, okay? So, anything else
True.
we got this week? What else we got? Anything? No?
It's Super Bowl, but I'm gonna play Blood Bowl
No.
instead.
You're going to play Blood Bowl
Yeah,
instead?
I'm gonna-
Oh,
Ooh,
I'm gonna-
yeah, that's right. We need
I'm
our
gonna-
tradition, our Blood Bowl
Yeah,
tradition.
even if it has to just be online, I'm playing Blood Bowl.
Yeah,
Like even if it's
okay.
against if I just a random
Yeah.
pickup game
For the
for
Super
some
Bowl.
noob who crushed with my orcs.
Yeah, for the Super
Orcs.
Bowl, we usually play Blood Bowl instead, and which we might end up doing a streaming game of that or something, because
Yeah.
we're thinking about streaming more games here soon.
I don't know though, 'cause you beat me pretty good in Blood Bowl. I don't know if I want everyone to see that.
You don't want everybody to know how your Blood Bowl plays
You don't want
go?
there to be a witness to
Blood
the
Bowl's-
slaughter.
Yeah.
Blood Bowl's tough. I was in 2 leagues at the same time, and like one league I got like 3rd place in, and the other league I got like 7th out of 8th. So it's like it's tough, and it was 2 leagues. You know, some of them had like the same people in both leagues. It can be tough. You got to pick the right team for you for sure.
Yeah, you do. You have to pick the right team that suits you. But that's what we're going to be doing for Super Bowl and hopefully next week and stuff like that. So,
So here's a question: since you're
Yeah.
backing so many things this week,
yes.
does that mean you've looked ahead and next week sucks and they shouldn't tune in?
Usually I do look ahead. Like I've already looked ahead by now, but you know, like my Wednesday and Thursday were taken up this week, so I'm actually going to have to like
We have a for sure
delve
buy.
into that tonight. Yeah.
There's a for sure buy next month. Renegade is making a Tremors game.
For real?
God.
Yeah, like there's like the old truck from Tremors, and on the back says Worm Hunter,
For
like on the
sure
license
buy.
plate.
seen
no,
that
With the
movie in
cowboy
so
hat?
long. Are you
Oh,
for real?
I'm 100% backing it. If she won't back it, I will make a Kickstarter account just to back
My-
that game.
Does it come with like a big mini of like the worm?
I don't care.
So
The chances there ever being a Tremors board game ever again is so small that if I don't get this, I will regret it for my lifetime.
Michael has a
Seriously.
question. He says, "Who is your SB pick?"
I don't even know
Super
who's
Bowl?
playing.
I don't know.
Orcs.
My super bowl pick
Is
is
the elves,
probably
the dark elves.
Well, yeah, if it matters where I'm playing. So it's going to be the Dark Elves if I'm playing on an actual board, but if
Yeah.
I'm playing in game, I think it's probably like what is it? Like the Undead Underworldy
Yeah,
sort
I'm either
of
gonna
one,
go
yeah.
Lizard Men, I think, or the Necromantics were good.
Lizardman, yeah.
The Necromantics
Yeah.
were good because they got the werewolves, which are
Those
fast.
are my top picks,
Oh,
guys.
if you got
yeah.
werewolves on your team,
Oh, they're fast.
that's a
dude.
huge
Mhm.
bonus.
And if you give
It
them block
is.
and dodge,
Yeah.
try
Give
and
them a
catch
little
me.
claw, you know? I mean, they're a little stinky sometimes, but
The only problem is those werewolves will eventually evolve into were-chihuahuas, and it's not as exciting.
That's true. Everything goes downhill.
all right,
At
guys.
least they won't turn into birds.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. What was your top game for out of the 4?
Tangled Timelines.
Tangled
and close
Timelines?
second is the Villainy.
Okay.
I'm all about Valor Villainy because I know for a fact that if it does well, they'll put other like bad guys in it besides just Mordak. Like you just know they will. Like,
Yeah.
They have to. It's too easy.
And they could do new location tiles
Uh-huh.
really easy as well
Oh yeah.
to
Yep.
switch up the
It can be
gameplay.
really easily expanded upon.
Yeah.
My top pick for this week was definitely Valor and Villainy because there's a lot to that game. There's a great price, and I feel like I need that RPG feel in my life, and
Yeah.
that gives me that RPG feel without delving into an actual full RPG.
'Cause
So,
nobody
or
wants
a
that.
full dungeon crawl. Like I don't have to break out Gloomhaven. Like I
Yeah.
can just play this short little like RPG
And you
style
can play it
game
after
here
work
and level
not,
up and
right,
stuff.
and not
yeah.
feel like you got to stay up all night or something.
Right, exactly. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We will catch you guys all next week.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
That's my boy Vincent right there.